Hello and welcome to the 23rd episode of my Devlog from Glow the Wisp, where I talk about the progress from Glow the Wisp and then I pick one ludological topic typically. Today, it's part of game design at least, to talk about, and then that's what we do here. Okay, so most of you guys already know that, but if you are not interested in the progress report, you can skip here. But I have to say, this time I actually have quite some progress to tell you guys, so you might want to stick around, and it will also kind of go over. In the past I did these PowerPoint presentations, though it was Google Docs, but anyway, these presentations. Today I will go back to the Unity editor just because I have a lot of stuff to show, and I save some time this way as well. As you guys may know, I was in holidays before, so I didn't do as much I wanted to do in the holidays, but I still got quite some stuff done. So I wanted to show you guys that. Yeah, so then let's jump right into the progress report. You can see here now, this is if you boot up the game, like this is in the Unity editor, but anyway, if you boot up the game, you will see this. Basically, this is just your normal registration, login stuff. You are aware, if you're listening to this for quite some time, that I'm planning on having YouTuber high scores, and they can put their link to their YouTube channel here and their YouTube name as well. It's already written here, so that people can find them. Anyway, so that entire thing is now really working. The backend is set up. I can log in here with my great test name account. This should be the password if I'm not mistaken, yes. And then you will just continue loading into the normal game. If you play as a guest, or if you logged in at least once, you can also play offline. If you listened, I think, to the last episode, you know that already. I just wanted to mention that again. What I still need to work on for all that stuff to really work, I will just turn my phone on silent so it doesn't annoy us. Give me a second. Here we go. I needed to add the logout button, but what I wanted to say is I need to really change the way this is working, because I want to have ghosting, which you guys already know that I have implemented, at least like workingly implemented. I still need to synchronize the data to the backend from the level, so that you basically have cloud hosting stuff. Yeah. But I did a lot of this stuff already. What I also changed is you can now play the game, if I'm selecting the first level here, with the mouse. Oh, it's a little bit laggy, but yeah, anyway. With the mouse, because I did that because... Let's pause this. I did that because a lot of people wanted to play the game but didn't have a controller, and I wanted to have mouse support anyway. It actually doesn't feel as weird as I thought first. It actually feels kind of good. This is also because I changed another thing, which I can show you right now here. If you are in the past, like if I'm taking the control, if I would take the controller, let me just turn the controller on. What's this here, by the way? Need to check that. That's my particle system plugin that I'm using. That's some editor layout stuff. Yeah, okay, but editor layout. Anyway, I still need to find out what it is. Maybe I can enter a bug for them or just fix it myself. I have the source code. So anyway, right now, in the past, if you know, I don't know if you know, but in the past you could, or you had to press A to fly around. What I did now is you can just move the left stick to fly around. This is not applicable to the mouse. I show it quickly here. So you can fly around with just this, as you can see here. Now if you press A or hold A down, you will see this arrow coming up. And this arrow is showing you where you will dash. And the amount of how much you see from the arrow is how far you will dash. So it will give you an idea of how far you will dash. Right now I have it at 1 second time. This might change, so for it to fully charge basically the dash. But it might change, but I still think it's a good thing. Because a lot of people had problems with the dash to aim it correctly. And now I can do stuff also that requires more timing based things, that you can dash a little bit shorter, which was pretty hard at the past. Still, in the past, I could have dashed shorter depending on the amount of stuff I press the stick to the right or the left. This is now completely gone. With the mouse, it works fairly similar. You move the mouse cursor, as you can see. I hope the mouse cursor is recording anyway, but it basically will draw a line from the mouse cursor to your character, and then just if you press the left mouse button, it will just go into that direction. Still, I do not allow that people will. How am I explaining this correctly? I am not allowing that if you put the mouse cursor directly over the character to move him around, because I had that before, and then basically you could just drag the character around more or less. It did not work perfectly because obviously you have still the friction and everything, but it worked pretty. It was way too easy. And then if you have the right mouse cursor, you can also do the aiming like this here. It's exactly the same as with the normal thing, but just that the cursor is the mouse will will say the direction of the arrow. I don't know. I cannot really talk. Yeah. So and with the mouse wheel you can change the characters. It's just one direction, so it doesn't matter if you scroll up or down. I didn't really implement that. It's fine right now. It will just always go to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Maybe I will change that later, but it's not as important. I think this new control scheme is really nice, and it will help me a lot in making it more easy and more clear what's going on. It was a common feedback I got, which I will get back into later, that why they had to press the A button all the time. I had a good reason for it, but I will go into this a little bit later. I just wanted to mention it, so you know why I did this change. So basically, if I'm going back to the progress report, let's quickly go to my Gmail account and go to the drive. But while I'm doing that, I also have good news. I'm in contact right now with a sound designer, and he will do sound design and the music for my game. And so the game will have a completely own or unique music just for the game, which I'm really happy about. I always wished that could work, but yeah, it was not quite sure if I can do it. So that is my to-do list for now. I wanted to go quickly over what I have here. Basically, I have the high score for YouTubers more or less implemented. I have a login system more or less implemented right now. Cloud save I'm currently at, so I can actually make this stuff green right now, which is nice. Oh, that's the wrong thing. So I will do it highlight and then green here. This is right now still not 100% working. More characters is also not working. In-game money systems not working yet. What is this? Yeah. Anyway, I think I didn't do anything more in which would fit inside here. The add change music I already did. I did that before I got in contact with the guy who's doing the music now, so I actually have quite good music already. A lot better than I had in the past. Like, I liked some of the songs, but I really disliked that people were talking about it, but I think you already know that. So, as I said, the mouse movement, what will be working on next is the UI for the high scores, the cloud saving, which is implemented partially already in the backend. It should already work, but I still need to invoke it from the front end. This is basically what I will work on next week. I will work on all the ghosting stuff, all the cloud saving, new UI, because I really think I need to rework the UI to have all the options available for the players, but also just to make it look a little bit nicer, because like I kind of want to see progress. And once I have that, I will finally start working on redoing all the levels. What I also did from last week is I started to write a game design document. I don't know where it is. I don't know, here. I think. Yes. I think that's the correct one. Yeah. So, but I don't want to go over this too much right now. I will probably go over some of the stuff and even talk about some of the things in this podcast, because they are actually kind of good topics for the podcast in this document right now. And I think that's pretty good for me, because it will also set the focus a little bit more on Will Glow the Wisp, my game, instead of just talking in general. The problem in the past was that I had really a lot of hard programming work, like doing a server, setting up a server and all that stuff, which is not really what I want the focus of the podcast to be, and that's why I switched a little bit more away from talking about Will Glow the Wisp. But right now I started to do the game design document because I didn't had one before, because of the audio guy, which names, by the way, Clemens, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Clemens. And so hi if you're watching this, and thanks again for that you're willing to help me out here. Anyway, so I started to write it for him, but what I found is once I started to write stuff down, it was actually really helpful for me as well. And that's a flaw of me. Like, basically I'm always not really that interested in writing stuff down, because I don't really like it that much, but once I do, I kind of often get a huge benefit, and I actually did that here as well. So I will go over this a little bit in the future, especially if I'm implementing some of that stuff, and then I can talk about what I was thinking about, how I wanted to approach it, and maybe how I finished implementing it. Yeah, so the music will be done, or everything, the sound design will be done with Fmod. At least that's what we discussed for now. If you guys have any better suggestion for the for a Unity plugin, it would be nice if you can tell me. Basically, what I did is I looked at the different ones that he told me he thought were good, and Fmod was free, and it didn't seem like that hard to implement. That's why I used it. But I don't know, like, if you have anything else, other ideas, then just tell me. Yeah. So I think that's for the progress report, should be already it. This entire episode will not be that long, but yeah. So yeah. Let's start with feedback loop. So first of all, I wanted to say hi to everyone who's listening on the podcast. Because some of you might not know, but the last Devlog also went up as a podcast, but the podcast basically always skips the first part, which is the devlog of my game Will Glow the Wisp, and they will not see stuff. But as I said, most of the time you don't need to see stuff. It's always obviously helpful. So if you are listening with the podcast, might also think about just tuning into the YouTube video, because you will see a little bit more stuff. Anyway, so today I want to talk about feedback loop, and the feedback that I got for Will Glow the Wisp, and how I decided to integrate it. Because like the biggest problem that you will have is, first of all, you need to get some feedback, which is not as easy. I already said that I think that I really had good experience in people just playing the game and recording it, so I was really happy that I found some small YouTubers, like as you can see here. They don't have many views and stuff, but I really have to say, first of all, I actually think the guy who's doing the video that I'm about to show is actually quite good. He's actually doing quite good reviews. So if you are interested in who he is, he's Game Grazers, and I can really what is it called? Like, he's really good. You can watch him. I don't know. I recommend him. Exactly. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so but not everyone gave good feedback. I think he gave pretty good feedback, but still, even if you get good feedback, you cannot just implement it one-to-one because you will never finish. So you will always need to check first with your vision and everything. And but I will go into that. But for now, I will just shortly play what he had to say about Will Glow the Wisp after he finished it. He has a section basically talking about the game and what he thinks about it. So
it's time to bring in the grazing scale. The controls feel really great overall, even though I had to engage a lot of trial and error to figure it out. A better set of tutorial levels to flesh this out would do wonders for this game. The game's presentation is easily its strongest suit. It looks great and it sounds fantastic. While the gameplay is fun and challenging, the levels did have a tendency to get a bit too hard, a bit too fast. All that being said though, this is still a game I could chew on a few times.
So that's, I think, enough. Like I just wanted to show you the feedback that he got and what I basically want to change or plan to change or already changed, depending, about that, and then also talking about other feedback I got. So he actually, I think, was one of the best feedback I got, because it's like pretty much what I implemented or what I'm trying to implement also. Like he basically said he likes the controls, but he thinks he needs better tutorial level and not as fast of an learning. The learning curve is too high. It's getting too difficult too quickly, basically. Yeah. So that's the main focus I had, without also the added features for the second version of the alpha version, the second alpha version that I'm currently working on. Anyway, so that was really good feedback. But what he didn't say is he didn't thought the game was too difficult overall. When I watched other videos, I actually saw that people had a really hard time with the game, and I don't think that just tutorial levels would have helped them. And I even have friends who played the game who just told me they're not like this kind of person who really tries to beat a game in hardcore mode. And like I always said, I wanted to target this audience, the people who really want to try to beat a game. But the question really is that you have to ask yourself is, why? Like, a lot of people told me that they really like the visuals, they really like the sound, and why won't I let people who just want to experience the game experience it? I'm not saying that you basically don't have to do anything, but why not make it really easy? And that's where the characters came in that I implemented, representing the different difficulties. If I would have just listened to him, which was really good feedback, I would not have implemented that. There's also other things that the characters addressed that he didn't mention at all. A lot of people said they don't know why they should play the game, which is like, if you first hearing that kind of feedback, you're like, what is that even supposed to mean? Like, come on. Why are you playing games overall? To have fun? Like, I don't know. But I think what they meant is that for them it wasn't enough to just have to beat the level and gain a couple of stars. That's, I think, what they meant. Like, and that's really the difficult thing about feedback is, if you get feedback like we saw here all the time, that's great. You can almost take it one-to-one, implement it, and you're fine. But like a lot of times it sounds really weird, like I don't really I think the game was way too hard. The game was way too hard can either mean what he just said, that he thinks the difficult curve is going up too quickly, or it can mean you need to have better tutorial level, or it can mean I just don't get the controls even after trying really hard. And all these three things will have different solutions to them. So it's really hard to really get good feedback, and even if you have pretty good feedback, what do you implement with that? So the thing I was talking about before, that people really felt like they didn't understand why they should continue playing the game, is like, this can also, by the way, be interpreted in multiple ways. Like, first of all, maybe the levels were too repetitive for them. The gameplay was not interesting to them. So, because like if you have interesting gameplay, like in Rocket League, nobody asks that. But why is that? And I thought that my gameplay and the feel, I think is pretty good. Like, I hope at least, because if it's not, I'm kind of fucked. Anyway, so if that happens, that's not. Oh wait, what I want to say? Yeah. So let's say that the gameplay is at least decent enough so that people enjoy playing the game. And what can you do to have players to want to continue playing the game once they started and understand the basic concept? And that's where I started to think about the characters, because of the basically the, what is it called? I don't remember the word, but basically to have unlocks that people can experience the game in different ways and get really excited about new stuff. And what it also did, adding the characters, is giving me more wiggle room to introduce mechanics that will not be or that don't fit the game perfectly, but are still kind of fun to have. But like it's not really good enough to give them to all the characters. I can give you an example. I played around with a mechanic where you jump back in time, or jump back at the position you were 1 second ago, or 2 seconds, I don't know. It was a really fun mechanic. It had even like a couple of things that were really interesting about it. Like you could solve kind of puzzly things, and I actually think I might, like, for you guys, then you already know, but I might actually even do maybe a hidden level or something like that you can just reach with that, just kind of as a bonus. But it would not be enough to give it its own, to give it to all characters. What you could also do with it is basically save you if you just flew into something and you just press the button quick enough. You could actually get away from your death. The only thing that is kind of like what I don't really like right now about it is that you basically I basically have problems with the mouse and additional buttons. So I'm not sure if I will do it, and even if I'm thinking about later about mobile, which I'm not sure I will do, but if I want to do it, it's also like the more buttons you need, the more difficult it will get. And currently I use both mouse buttons and the mouse wheel. I could use the third mouse button as the ability, but I need to test if that feels good, or if you just then need to use the spacebar or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, there will be solutions to this, but I thought that's a really nice opportunity to give people something to play around with, to experience this, and something to really get excited about. Also, the high score that I implemented is also something that will keep people engaged more, because they can compete with their friends. The ghosting is the same. Basically, all these features I added, kind of trying to give people more reason to continue playing the game. It's kind of weird to say it like that, but there was like a common feedback I got that the guys from Microsoft told me that they felt like the game didn't have enough meat. They said like, yeah, I don't know, like just the 3 stars, that's kind of a mobile thing. I don't think that's good enough. But it's really close. They told me I should get back to them. But basically that's what they told me, and I'm trying to basically accomplish, or not accomplish, but trying to solve these problems with the stuff I did. So that was some kind of feedback I got. There was other kinds of feedback which I just couldn't do. Like if they just told me that, like a lot of people were like, yeah, that's just not really like I don't like the theme. Like I cannot really do anything about that. Like a lot of a common feedback I also got was that they think that the game didn't change enough, which was really interesting, because when I did the first alpha, I actually had the color change very slightly every level. And that's a mistake on my part. I think what I should have done and what I will do in the future is I obviously will also change how the levels will look like later, in later stages. But actually, like the first 20 levels, most games don't have a drastic change in the first 20 levels in their design. Like maybe 10 levels, and then they will change it up a little bit more. But like maybe it's because my game is made out of the same building blocks all the time, and they were kind of getting tired of them. Anyway, so what I decided to do for the first couple, or like I don't know at how many levels. What I will do though is I will change the color, not gradually from each level to level, but have future jumps so that the change is more visible to the players. Because there was actually a change in colors, like it was very different from the first to the last level, but I think it would have been better to just have certain color schemes for a time and then switch up the color scheme and switch up the color scheme again. I think that's really important. Obviously the tutorials have to be better. That's what they said. So that's basically most of the feedback I got. There's more feedback as well. Like I had friends. Basically, a lot of feedback that you get is oftentimes like adding features. Like one friend of mine actually, even before he played the game, told me that he thinks that a level editor would be nice. I'm still thinking that's a good idea, and I'm probably implementing it. Like it's kind of on my list. But we will see how easy it will be in the end. Another thing that people said is that they really would like to have local co-op in the game, and they think that could be fun. And like all these feature requests, it's really hard for me to say no, because I always feel like it would be great to have that. That's just like basically you really need to take care about feature creep. You need to say no to people if you to not blow up the entire game too much. I'm still not sure if I will do local multiplayer. I really would like to have it, but I don't think I probably will, at least not for the next version, because it actually gives me a lot of additional headaches, and like maybe it has to be enough to have a high score. Maybe I need to just stop doing all that stuff. What I'm also planned is another mode, which I think you guys already know. It's also to have basically some kind of thing that people like, some kind of way for people to compare their high scores better. Because like right now, the high scores for each level are interesting, but I don't know how effective they will be in the end. Like if you introduce high scores in a level-based game, and each level has its own high score, it is actually it actually kind of gets watered down, because you have so many high scores. It's kind of weird, and you don't know which one to look at and everything. So I think I'm planning to do a mode where basically you there will be waves coming at you, and you need to defeat the enemies, the enemy waves. And I think that's a good way to really put the high score front and center. I still will use the high score for the other things, and I still think it's fine, because if you have friends, you can compete against each other. And maybe, actually now that I'm thinking about it, what I probably will need to do is, I probably will need to implement some notification for the players if their friend beat them. I actually think that's a good idea. Like, if you, for example, but if you play against your friend on level 3 and try to beat their best time, basically, because that's basically what it comes down to, once you do that, the game should probably pop up a notification to you and tell you, by the way, your friend beat you. Do you want to play this level now? Do you want to beat him again? Like, basically getting the competition going. And then, so, yeah, that might be a good idea. Or, I don't know, like, I'm still not sure, as you can see, how I'm really supposed to implement the high score thing. I still think it's a good idea. I really like it because of the YouTube stuff that I'm planning. So if you guys are not familiar with what I'm planning here, I'm planning to enter basically to have YouTube players register at my game like any other player, but they can basically check a box, say they are a YouTuber, link to their YouTube channel. I will take a look at the YouTube channel just to see if they're really doing streams. Like, I don't want to have a fixed number of subscribers or something you need to have, because first of all, that system can be gamed, and second of all, the guys like the Game Grazers here, he has only 125 subscribers. I still want him to be able to participate in this. I think he's doing a great job. I know that he's not like, he's a real streamer, like he's really doing all that stuff. And why shouldn't I allow him to to basically participate in this. So that's why I didn't want to have a hard fixed number there, so that not only the really big or even the medium-sized YouTubers can participate in this. So I think that's already it for today. I need to think if have missed anything. I don't think I have. Let's see how much time we have already done. Yeah, that's a good stop point, I think. So I hope you enjoyed this topic. If you have, like, I'm not an expert on feedback. Like, this is my first real game. Like, actually my first game with feedback, at least. The other game I just completely implemented from start to finish. So if you have any feedback for this or for my game, please tell me. If you know better, or tell me all the mistakes I did, please go ahead and do that. Leave comments in the YouTube section. Also, if you are listening via the podcast, it would be nice if you would give me a 5-star review on iTunes or Player FM or wherever you are listening. Stitcher, I think I'm also at. So that would be really nice. It helps me increasing my audience, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and you kind of learned a little bit from how I'm looking at feedback and feedback loop. Yeah, so thanks again for watching or listening, depending on what you're doing, and bye.